This could be one of the sneakiest moves of the entire offseason. A 5-time Pro Bowler might be available, and the Chicago Bears have a glaring hole at his position. Are we really about to see Ryan Poles make another quiet, calculated strike? Before we dive in, if you love Real Bears talk from a fan-to-fan perspective, smash that like button, share this with another Chicago diehard, and subscribe so you never miss a major update. Alright, let's get into this. There's a report out that the Miami Dolphins are engaging teams in trade discussions involving safety Minka Fitzpatrick. Yes, that Minka Fitzpatrick. The 5-time Pro Bowler. The versatile defensive chess piece. And if you've been paying attention to what Miami is doing lately, this shouldn't shock you. They've been unloading contracts, moving off veteran money, resetting the roster. It's pretty clear they're pivoting toward getting younger and rebalancing the books. And honestly, from a team-building standpoint, it makes sense. But here's where it gets interesting for Chicago. Minka Fitzpatrick is about to turn 30. So no, he's not 24 anymore. But let's not act like he's washed. He graded out as one of the higher-rated defensive backs in the league this past season. In fact, he was better in 2025 than he was in 2024 with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's still playing at a high level. Now, is he a top 2 safety in football right now? Probably not. But is he a difference maker? Absolutely. And here's why the fit makes sense. In a Dennis Allen defense, versatility is gold. Minka can play both safety spots. He can drop into the slot. He can function as a nickel defender if needed. And when you think about Kyler Gordon's injury history, that flexibility becomes even more valuable. Imagine this scenario: you sign or keep another safety, but Gordon goes down. Suddenly, you can slide Minka inside and plug in a third safety without completely reshuffling your entire structure. That's the kind of defensive elasticity that good coordinators crave. And let's not forget the biggest factor here: the Bears currently have 0 safeties under contract. 0. So whether you re-sign Kevin Byard, draft someone, sign a mid-tier free agent, or swing a trade like this, you have to do something. Now let's talk money. Minka has 1 year left on his deal, carrying a $15.6 million cap hit for 2026. There are void years attached, but the dead money stays with Miami if he's traded. That's important. It means Chicago wouldn't inherit the Dolphins' financial mess. But here's the reality: if you trade for him, you're not letting him play on that $15.6 million number. You'd restructure or extend him immediately. So now the conversation shifts. What would that extension look like? Would you do something like 2 years, $25 million, roughly $12.5 million per year? That feels reasonable for a 30-year-old safety who can still impact games. But would you go 2 years, $40 million? That's where things get uncomfortable. Because as good as he is, you can't overcommit to aging defensive backs. And then there's the trade compensation. Let's be honest, Miami doesn't have much leverage. They've already signaled to the league that they're resetting. When you show your hand like that, your bargaining power drops. They're not getting a second-round pick. They're probably not getting a third. This feels like a day 3 deal. Maybe a 5th-round pick gets it done. The Bears have a 4th, a 5th, and 2 7ths. A 7th probably doesn't move the needle. But a 5th. That feels realistic. And think back to what Ryan Poles did around this time last year. He made 2 very savvy moves, buying low on proven players rather than overpaying in splashy deals. That's his style. Calculated. Measured. Opportunistic. So let me ask you this: would you rather trade a 5th-round pick for a proven Swiss Army knife like Minka Fitzpatrick, or hold that pick and hope you hit on a developmental safety in the draft? Type T for trade or P for pass in the comments. Here's the bigger picture. Maybe instead of going all in on a blockbuster pass rusher, you spread your resources. Trade for Minka. Then sign a veteran edge like Khalil Mack on a mid-range deal. Strengthen 2 spots instead of emptying the vault for one elite name. There are multiple avenues to build this defense. But no matter what direction they choose, one thing is undeniable: they must address the safety position. You can't walk into training camp with nothing. And I'll say this: as much as I respect Kevin Byard and what he did, Minka Fitzpatrick is the better overall player right now. He's also younger. That matters. Even if it means turning the page emotionally, sometimes roster decisions have to be cold and calculated. If you can get him on a fair extension and only give up a 5th-round pick, that's intriguing. Very intriguing. Now let's shift gears to the coaching staff, because the Bears have officially locked in their 2026 group. 4 moves are now official. Press Taylor has been promoted to offensive coordinator. Eric Studesville steps in as running backs coach, replacing Eric Bieniemy. Will Lawing joins as an offensive analyst. And Isaiah Ford, yes, the former Bears wide receiver, returns to Chicago in a coaching capacity. This feels like the staff is finally set. The Will Lawing situation is especially interesting. He quietly came over from Boston College, where he was the offensive coordinator. There's a long-standing relationship with Ben Johnson dating back to their college days. Initially, people wondered what his exact role would be. Is he a quality control guy? Is he the pass game coordinator? Is he something else? From what I'm hearing, while the official title is offensive analyst, he's essentially handling pass game coordinator responsibilities. The title may differ, but the tasks are similar. At the end of the day, it's Ben Johnson's offense. He's the play caller. He installs the run game. What he needs are trusted voices around him to handle the weekly grind, film breakdown, game planning, situational prep. Lawing fits that mold. And then there's Isaiah Ford. He was drafted by Miami in 2017 when Ben Johnson was on that staff. Johnson coached receivers there, and Ford played under him. They go back nearly a decade. Ford bounced around the league for several years, including a brief stint with the Bears in 2023, even appearing in a couple of games on special teams. Now he's stepping into coaching. I love hires like this. Former players who understand locker rooms. Who know what it's like to fight for a roster spot. Who can communicate the details of the position to young receivers. He'll likely work closely under Antoine Randall, learning the ropes in a structured, intelligent offensive system. And if things go well long-term, he could grow into a larger role down the line. That's how strong staffs are built: development, continuity, trust. So here's my final question for you. Which move excites you more, a potential Minka Fitzpatrick trade, or the direction this coaching staff is heading under Ben Johnson? This offseason is shaping up to be strategic rather than flashy. And sometimes, that's exactly how contenders are built. The combine is around the corner. Decisions are coming fast. And if Ryan Poles pulls off another quiet masterstroke, don't say you weren't warned. Bear down.